So this definitely has to be another head-scratching fixture for Frank Lampard. As for Jurgen Klopp, it's business as usual. As I said earlier, it was simply game management. Liverpool knew what they needed to do. They weren't playing at full throttle. They got the goods and they kept what they had, and they picked up a very important 3 points once again. So as an avid City supporter, this was another frustrating game for me to watch. Chelsea won, Liverpool 2. And Liverpool weren't at their best. They weren't at their best against Napoli. And again, against this Chelsea team, very spirited Chelsea team, they weren't at their very best either. But you have to give props to Liverpool. You got to take your hats off to them. They went out there, they got the goods. You know, they had a really good game management after going 2-0 up, and they walked away with the full 3 points. So congrats, man. Congrats to Liverpool, man. 15 wins in a row. Think that's some kind of record as well. And, oh man, Jesus Christ. 6 and 6. 6 and freaking 6. That's 18 points in their first 6 games. Remember, guys, last season only came in second, 1 point behind Man City, who are currently second in the league. I think we are still second, 5 points behind, man. The gap is kind of, opening up. 5 points. We can't afford to drop any more points. Guys, remember, yesterday we smashed Watford 8-0, but nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit about that. Nobody cares about that 8-0 spanking. They expect results like that from us. You know when they care? When we drop points against Tottenham, they cared. They cared a lot. They cared a lot. They came out in their numbers. And then when we lost against Norwich, they came out in their numbers again to boo. But when we pull things off, spectacular things like a 8-0 drubbing of Watford, people don't give a shit. But with a Liverpool performance like this, a lot of, the Liverpool fans are going to come out and say, hey, oh my God, the team is so good. They were great. They weren't great on the day. They weren't great. I think Chelsea had the better game. It was kind of a game of two halves, with Liverpool winning the first half and Chelsea completely dominating the second. But you can say that, Liverpool, was doing game management there with the fact that they had already scored 2. They had a 2-goal advantage. So there wasn't really any need for them to go gung-ho and try to score more, because remember, they had a very tough midweek fixture in the Champions League against Napoli, a game that they lost. Chelsea, they were at home against Valencia. They did lose that game too. So the two teams are coming off a very, very tough European fixture. So I guess they're coming into the game equal. But I expected something from this very young Chelsea 11, because they have been playing well, and I think they haven't been lucky at all. N'Golo Kante came back into the 11 for Chelsea, and that was a big boost for Lampard. But early in the game, man, 14th minute, Liverpool had their big break. It was a foul committed just outside the box. Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold stood over that free kick. Salah laid it off to Alexander-Arnold, who did the rest to score his first Premier League goal of the season. That was a brilliant strike by the young defender there. And very soon after that, Emerson Palmieri, the Chelsea left back, was struggling with a bit of injury. He had to go off. So that was actually a big blow for Chelsea, because Emerson has been playing very, very well since his inclusion. Chelsea had a brilliant chance to equalize when Tammy Abraham got in behind of this very shaky looking Liverpool backline, and bam, man, Tammy Abraham could not beat Adrian. You have to give big props to Adrian there for pulling off the save. And even though I criticized Adrian early in the season, he has really been good in goal for Liverpool. He has saved them in quite a few of these games. But then again, that's his job, right? But Tammy Abraham, who has already scored 7 goals in the Premier League this season, needed to score that one against the table toppers Liverpool, the European champions Liverpool. Tammy Abraham, you have to do better than that, especially after your display in the UEFA Super Cup final. That was your time to make amends, and you failed. You could have done something different. Maybe fake the shot, chip. You had enough time. You had way enough time to do that. He could have even squared the ball to the other Chelsea player that was, running alongside him. There were options, and he chose the wrong one, and Adrian came up with the big save. Just after that big chance, Chelsea did equalize, or they thought they did. It was Azpilicueta who scored that very, very scrappy goal, but on close review, VAR had to overturn it. Mason Mount was offside during the build-up of that play. Rightfully chalked off as well. Liverpool got lucky there. And when I say Liverpool got lucky, maybe I should just say Chelsea unlucky once again. After Cesar Azpilicueta's disallowed goal, he committed a big foul up the other end. He blocked off, I think it was Wijnaldum who was going forward, and it was a free kick in a very, very dangerous position once again. Trent Alexander-Arnold with a similar routine. He laid the ball off, this time to the left-footed Andrew Robertson, and up jumped Roberto Firmino to dispatch it past Kepa. 2-0 to Liverpool. So, with that 2-0 lead, all they had to do was manage the game very well and, pick up the 3 points, and they did exactly that. Chelsea suffered another big blow at the back end of the first half there when Andreas Christensen limped off injured. On came Kurt Zouma. So Chelsea already having to use up 2 of their 3 available substitutes early in the game. That wasn't good at all for Chelsea there, because late in the match, if you're like 2-1 down, you could bring on players, inject some life into the match, and, pick up that equalizer. Being 2-0 down at the halftime break, Chelsea had to do something different coming back for the second half, and they definitely did so. They bossed the game. They really, really played well in the second half, but again, without enough luck. Chelsea's hard work was finally rewarded in the 71st minute when N'Golo Kante gracefully danced through the Liverpool defense, shot the ball, and scored. That was one of the best goals of the season by far. Remember that goal N'Golo Kante scored against City last season when Chelsea defeated us? That was reminiscent of that, man. It was like deja vu, but that was a brilliant freaking goal by N'Golo Kante. I wasn't expecting that at all, and he definitely brought Chelsea back into the game there, and I think it was well deserved. It was like Fabinho didn't close him down fast enough. Van Dijk, Matip, and Henderson was all converging, and Kante still managed to get a shot off. Brilliant, man. Brilliant for a player just coming back from injury. With Chelsea getting back in the game, Klopp implemented some more game management by taking off Sadio Mane, who had a poor match. A poor match by his standards. Tammy Abraham went off for Michy Batshuayi, who did get a brilliant chance to equalize, but he did put his header wide. And we all could remember that late chance not taken by Mason Mount. It was a brilliant ball put in behind by Marcos Alonso, and the young Chelsea midfielder put it over. So Chelsea, they had their chances. They could have definitely equalized. They could have won well, maybe not win the game, but they could have picked up 1 point from this match, and they failed to do so simply because they did not take their chances. You have to take whatever chance comes your way, especially against this very, very resolute Liverpool defense and their very, very, very unrelenting attack. Liverpool held on for the 2-1 win on the road, and I think their best player on the day was the defender Joel Matip. Not Van Dijk, not Alexander-Arnold, despite him getting that goal, not Robertson, not Salah, not Mane, not Firmino despite him scoring, but it was Joel Matip, who does not get the praise he deserves all the time. So this definitely has to be another head-scratching fixture for Frank Lampard. As for Jurgen Klopp, it's business as usual. As I said earlier, it was simply game management. Liverpool knew what they needed to do. They weren't playing at full throttle. They got the goods and they kept what they had, and they picked up a very important 3 points once again. As for stats in the game, 13 shots at goal for Chelsea, 2 on target. Liverpool, 6 shots at goal, 3 on target. Chelsea had 55% of the possession, 45% of the possession for Liverpool. We don't see this very often, but Chelsea did play. They did play well. Chelsea 478 passes with a 79% pass accuracy. Chelsea, they outpassed Liverpool. They had more of the ball. They had more shots off at goal. But in the most important department, which is the goal department, they came up short. As for some insights, Liverpool are the first team in top flight history to win their opening 6 matches of a top flight season in 2 consecutive freaking seasons. That's how brilliant this Liverpool team has been. Wow. Chelsea have conceded 13 goals in their 6 Premier League matches this season, their most after 6 league matches since the 1978-79. Also, 13 when they went on to finish bottom of the first division. So that's not a good stat for Chelsea at all. Their worst return in their first 6 matches when it comes to conceding goals. Then Liverpool have won consecutive Premier League matches against Chelsea for the first time since a run of 4 wins between November of 2010 and May of 2012. So this is a different Liverpool team we're talking about, man. This is a dominant Liverpool team. And for Chelsea, what I think they should do, they should continue implementing this format that they are, this whole youth promotion thing, because they will pick up the results. They will pick up the results. I love the mixture of youth and experience that Frank Lampard played today with Willian, Tammy Abraham, Mason Mount. Then there was Kante, Kovacic, and Jorginho in the middle of the field. Jorginho had a rough game. I think Kovacic was okay. And then in the back, Emerson, Tomori, Christensen, and Aspilicueta with Kepa in the goal. Well-balanced 11, and I think they could definitely do big things if they persist with this team. Because against teams like Liverpool, it's always going to be hard. But against the teams outside the top 10, you know you'll pick up results. Just like what happened last time around against Wolves. Chelsea's next Premier League game will be against Brighton, a fixture I think they should win. And note I said they should win, but Graham Potter and his boys have been picking up very good results. As for Liverpool, they play Sheffield United on the road. Hopefully Sheffield could do something, but I don't know. Very gritty team, but I don't know against Liverpool. I really don't know. I think it would be 7-7 for Liverpool to stretch their winning run to 16 in a row. And their points tally to 21. Sorry, Sheffield fans, but it's reality here. So for some other results that I really didn't get to talk about, Newcastle 0, Brighton 0. Good result for both teams when you really look at it. West Ham 2, Man United 0. Big result. I have a video for that. Check it out on the channel. Crystal Palace 1, Wolves 1. Wolves went down to 10 men and scored a late equalizer in extra time there. Diego Jota with that big goal. Wolves, man, they, not having a great season. 4 draws after 6 games, but still, 4 draws is not 4 losses. So still a reasonable start. They would want to get their mojo back and win games. Arsenal, Aston Villa. McGinn with the opening goal to put Aston Villa up, and then Maitland-Niles picked up a second yellow card, got sent off. So that meant that Arsenal had to play the remainder of the game with 10 men. And they did so brilliantly. They equalized in the 59th minute through Nicolas Pepe. It was his first goal for the club. It was a penalty, and he must be a very relieved man because he came over for a big fee and he wasn't scoring. And a lot of people are probably saying that, oh man, Nicolas Pepe may just flop at Arsenal. He could still flop, but it's really good for him to pick up that first goal in Arsenal colours. And just after Pepe scored, Aston Villa's new signee, Wesley, the Brazilian, put them ahead again. It was 2-1, and then Callum Chambers equalized for Arsenal in the 81st minute, and 3 minutes after that, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang with the winner. Big win for Arsenal after giving up a 2-0 advantage against Watford last week to come back to only pick up 1 point. So big 3 points for Arsenal with their back against the wall here, and I know Arsenal Fan TV will be loving this. They will be buzzing over there today. So in terms of the top 6, this is how the table looks right now. Liverpool on top, 6 wins and 6, 18 points. Man City 13 points in second. Leicester third, 11 points with a better goal difference than Arsenal, who are 4th. West Ham United 5th, also on 11 points, and Bournemouth 6th on 10 points. Tottenham, Man United, Chelsea all outside the top 6 right now as we speak. But it's still very early, so I don't think it would remain like that. But teams like Bournemouth, West Ham, Leicester would love for it to remain just so. So at the bottom of the table in 20th, Watford, 2 points, already sacked their manager, the only team who has sacked their manager this season in the Premier League. In 19th, we have Wolves, also winless so far this season, 4 points. Also in the relegation zone, Aston Villa, 4 points. Newcastle, Norwich City, and Brighton just outside those relegation places. But don't worry about the table, guys. It's still very early. Liverpool on top the table with that 18 points still doesn't mean anything. We have 32 match weeks to go. But guys, I'm your boy Dominic Rich. If you're new around here, consider hitting the subscribe button. Smash the thumbs up button. Let me know your thoughts on the game in the comment section down below. And until next time, peace out. Rich Squad.